Welcome to the Contagion Effect. With your host, Mike Ellick. And Eric Mello.
What is going on, everybody? Mike here, and my buddy. Where you at, buddy?
What's going on? I am. Okay. So, real quick, we have to do some housekeeping real quick.
Okay.
We do need to cut that down just a bit because I'm like, oh wait, is it? Which we're going to work on that, right?
We are going to work on that. I think
that's what I love about this. I think that's what I love about this. What we're doing here is each episode is going to be better. We've said that from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
We are by no means where we want to be, but yet we're moving in that direction. I think that's the beautiful part of you and I and how we think things through and how we the process of putting a podcast together and getting it to where we want it to be.
Much agreed.
Yeah. So I'm literally I'm heading to work because I had to go back to work.
What are you talking about? This is our job. What are you talking about?
This is our job. I know. This is our job.
I'm getting so close to retirement.
You are. I'm so excited for you, bro.
Oh,
I'm
me too.
so excited for you to retire. Yeah, see, this is telling me to go.
Did you make another wrong turn?
No, so I literally didn't go the regular way I go to work.
Okay.
Because I'm on my headset. I'm on my phone. You're live, standing on top of a nightstand.
Yeah, well, I'm not standing. So let's actually set the scene for today's show. So first off, Eric had to work, and we'll get more into it. He had to work last night in a new location. Man. He had some fun. He's gonna share. My wife has a conference call, a very important conference call she's doing right now, so I don't have access to our office. I don't want to be out in the other room because the dogs are too loud. So Eric's on a cell phone. We're connected to that, which is awesome. We're trying out new technology, which we played around with this week a little bit, which got us really excited about next week's show. We can talk about later, but Eric's on the road heading to work. So we're going to try to make all this happen while he's heading to work. So there is not a podcast out there that I think people are doing it the way we're doing it. And guess what? We're excited about that. So So Eric,
I'm literally on some back roads to keep the connection going, which I just realized that my maps just sent me back to the road that I didn't want to be on because it's bad reception. That's why I'm laughing, because I'm like, oh man, it's sending me right back to 132. I wanted to go kind of through the farm country of Tracy, which yes, there are there's little farming communities of Tracy.
On the outside.
To get to the west side of Tracy. But I just realized that I'm like, oh, why am I going back this way? And it's sending me back to 132. So I know for a fact that I'm probably going to break up a little bit. But what I'll do is I'll cut over on Coral Hollow and then come back that way. So not that big a deal.
And I'll just have to cover.
Yeah, which you do a good job of. I mean, that's, left hand and right hand. That's what we do.
Exactly.
It was just funny because I'm like, oh, I know exactly where I'm going. And then this stupid Google, I love Google the other day.
Be careful what you say. Be careful what you say.
I know.
I like my money. Right. I don't want to lose it all.
I love Google. You're the best.
There you go.
I get it.
Much better.
But I just didn't want it to reroute me back to 132. And I said, 5 minutes faster. I'm like, no, dummy. That's the way you didn't want to go. So
that's awesome.
Anyways.
Okay, so that's today's drive.
Man, yeah. So I'm sure there'll be some more things.
Let's talk about last night.
So because I work for a local grocery store chain that has 255. Oh man, I'm not gonna make it. There's 255 stores that we service, and some of them happen to be up in the Tahoe, North Shore, South Shore region,
right
between Nevada and California.
Okay.
We had a couple storms over the last few days.
Yep.
Drop some significant snow, rain showers, and the winds were like from 45 to, I heard 45 to 80 miles an hour, which I delivered to Yosemite for like 12 years with a local food service up in Yosemite. So I've been in inclement weather. and I've had, I've thrown chains and I've dealt with all of that. But
Now,
last night was interesting.
Well, hold on. So let's also clarify for everybody out there that Eric chose to do this, knowing exactly what he was driving into.
Yeah.
He could have chosen a different route.
San Francisco. I could have went to San Francisco. I could have went to Albany.
Which is like his favorite trip is like San Francisco.
Super. I mean, I go to San Francisco every day if I could, but there's times in your driving career where you get called out, and certain people will say things about what we call flatlanders, guys that just run the valley, just run the bay. And then there's the guys that go to the snow all the time, and they chain up and they run those routes during the winter and during the summer. The problem that we have is we have some guys that jump on during the summer because there's no snow and it's Tahoe, and you run up there and you make good money and come back and it's not a problem. But they'll jump off when it becomes snow. So I had the chance to go to South Lake Tahoe, and I'm like, let's do it. Mind you, I have Adidas shoes on and some shorts,
so
and
no
a
work
sweater.
boots. No work boots.
No work boots, which I did bring we have to wear steel-toed boots, and so I had my steel-toed tennis shoes with me and my sweater, and I'm like, this isn't working. So I literally had like two guys. I had a guy get up, leave his house, go to a neighborhood department store and look for some rain gear for me, which was absolutely amazing. Marcelo, love you, bro. That was so
good looking
epic.
out, Marcelo.
Yeah, very awesome of him. I know there's a few guys that would do that, and so he was one of the guys. Jumped up, didn't end up using his, but I'm still paying the dude for it because he went and got it. He's going to keep the shirt. I'm keeping the pants, rain pants, which is cool to have extra anyways.
Right.
So I ended up going to the outdoor department store in Manteca, and I got a rain bib, a snow bib, and man, that thing so awesome, man. I stayed
Save your
dry.
life. Yeah.
Oh, I did. It
I'm
saved my
confused
life.
though.
It was awesome.
All that driving you doing? What are you doing out in the weather so much?
Well, so last night, I guess in a roundabout way I have to get to this point is
Okay.
it started. It was 32 degrees. The rain changed into snow. We pulled over at Kybers. If you're going up Highway 50.
You said we. Were you training?
Kybers is? Well, me and myself.
Okay.
And I.
Okay. Your multiple personalities. All right.
Yes,
I got you.
Absolutely.
I got you.
Yes. And so we headed up the hill, and I pulled over, had to chain up. In the meantime, another driver that started a little bit before me had went up, and he busted a belt that runs his radiator and his alternator, and he had to turn around, and he got stuck on the side of the road.
Oh, wow.
In the snow with no heat.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, listen, call dispatch, get you a tow truck. I went up to South Lake, drove on chains I chained up, and from where I chained up to the store is about an hour and a half on chains, running 25 miles an hour. It was about 30 miles. Took me an hour and a half to get there. Came down
Wow.
Echo Summit, which this year they had all those fires that were up there in South Lake, and I can only imagine what's going to happen when all that snow turns into water and starts rushing down.
Yeah, it's not going to be good.
It was amazing the difficulty of staying on the road because of the wind.
Wow.
It was probably one of my top 5, probably top 3 drives in the weather that I've been in.
Well, I know on Monday we had pretty bad weather, and was it in Tracy? I think on the 205, I saw a semi was blown over on the 205.
Oh, I think I do recall that.
Yeah. So
here's
we've
the
had
thing
some
is,
crazy weather in California, which if you're outside of California, this weather is probably normal to you. In California, the world's falling apart when we get this weather.
Oh, yeah. We get like a couple inches of rain, and oh, my gosh, Storm Watch 2021-ish.
It's El Nino.
No, what do they call it now? I
don't even know.
Shoot. They're using this fancy river. It's a river
Oh,
storm.
The
or
flow.
oh,
Yeah. I have heard that. I just don't know
dang
what it
it!
is
I'm sure
either.
someone will tell us what it is.
Yeah,
but
somebody will correct us on one of our.
Atmospheric river.
There you
Thank
go.
you, Eric.
There you go. Man,
Atmospheric river.
this is why I do this with you. How smart you are.
Wow.
That's amazing.
I tell you. So we've had like what, 3 of them now. Two for sure, and not, maybe they won't call it last night, but
Right.
the winds is what made it difficult for
No, the wind
for
is
me to drive.
terrible.
Yeah. So I make my delivery in South Lake, and I call the guy. I'm like, hey man, what's going on? And he's like, hey dude, I'm freezing. I'm stuck on the side of the road. I can't idle my truck because the batteries have ran down because the alternator is not charging because he doesn't have a belt on the engine, on the fan, to keep the alternator running, right? So all this is going on, and I'm like, dude, as a shop steward, I don't want to leave anybody behind. It doesn't matter if I like you or don't like you. It's irrelevant when you're a shop steward. You have to do what's best for every Teamster that that works at Safeway.
Hey, that goes with our guest today, right? Nobody left behind, no man left behind.
Right. And out of respect, I would never compare what we're doing to what our guests.
Oh no, I'm not. No,
but I definitely get what you're saying. It's the same mental. It's that same thought process. Excuse me. It's that same thought process that you have to use. So I called our dispatch. I said, hey, here's what we're gonna do. Can't leave this guy here. He's already been on the side of the road for 2 hours. It's another hour and a half to get a tow truck there, and another 30 to 45 minutes of this guy hooking up the truck. I said, I'm going to run by. I'm picking him up. I go, we're going back together in my truck, and it's just how it's going to be. I'm not leaving the guy there.
Right.
And so, so we did it. Had a great conversation. Jim Brand's a super good dude. He's a supporter of the Contagion Effect show, and it was great because we don't ever get to have people in the trucks with us, in the cab with us.
No, unless you're training, right?
Right, unless you're training, but then really you're kind of all just you're always on edge anyways because you don't know what this guy's about. So
right. Wow.
So we get back, so it was raining, it was snowing, the whole night was a whirlwind of emotion because it doesn't matter how many times you go in the snow, it doesn't matter how many times you've driven in it. It's exhilarating, it's nerve-wracking, and once you're done, it's an accomplishment.
Right. And let's
in my opinion.
Sorry, Eric.
Yeah.
Let's remind everybody
good.
how much weight you're carrying in that vehicle you're driving.
Yeah. So our max is 80,000 pounds. The truck roughly weighs. The truck is around 37,000 to 39,000 pounds. Someone will correct me on that number. I get it. We're day cabs with reefers. Product wise, we're carrying around anywhere from 32 to 40,000 pounds of product. So the good thing was I was loaded enough to not worry about going over because in the snow obviously you want the weight to keep you connected to the ground.
Right.
My nervous part was actually coming back over fairly empty. So whenever we cleaned up the store, what we do is when we clean up the store, it's all the paper goods and the pallets and all the garbage basically.
So it's not as heavy.
Tracy, because we recycle. Yeah, well, we recycle like 99% of that stuff. So I put it at the back of the trailer to keep the back end of the trailer down, connected to the road for traction.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, when you see a truck, I mean, just don't cut us off. That's all I would say. My soapbox is this: just don't cut off trucks. You get in front of me is not going to give you any much more time getting home as if you just pulled in behind me and then took your exit.
Yeah, 80,000 pounds takes a while to
talk
stop.
About that. Yeah.
Well, I think
sure.
let's save more of that for our exciting next week's show and get everybody's take on it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm excited for next week too. I mean, I'm excited for every week right now.
I mean, it is, dude. It's just it's man, it's so much fun. So I'm calling it like I basically saved Jim's life last night because he was going to be stuck out there like a popsicle in the middle of this freezing snowstorm.
You're amazing, Eric, and I'm sure Jim appreciates it. So did he stay over? Like you guys stayed at hotel last night and then you drove back?
No, we rode back. Yeah, we came back. We got back to Tracy around 6:30ish last night. we're both starting here at West Coast time, or that's not West Coast time, Pacific Coast time, Pacific Standard Daylight, 17:30. So we start
West
here
Coast
at 5:30
time.
West Coast time.
PST.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it was interesting, man. I mean, I do like going to the snow. My point is I don't got to prove it to nobody anymore.
So for all those of you questioning Eric, you can't anymore. He did it.
Yeah. I mean, it's really funny because I'm a very big picture taker.
Yeah.
I took 0 pictures of my truck in the snow last night.
But
now,
you did do some social media last night.
Now, granted, there may have been an Instagram Live, maybe a little Snapchat action.
There was a TikTok
that was made. there was all that. I mean, I'm just saying there was that. But in the big picture, I have to stop my videos to actually screenshot some pictures. So
yeah.
I told one of my buddies, I said, I'm taking some of your pictures off your Facebook.
There you go. Well, your TikTok, yeah. We don't have a mute on Eric's microphone since it's his phone, so we just have to accept the coughs and everything today. So, I was watching your TikTok and I felt like the music, like something was gonna happen, and it never did.
Well, I tried to time it to where that little piece of ice was coming down.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay, I gotta watch it a little more. I gotta watch. Yeah. I saw the little piece of ice, but I didn't even think about watching that as part of the music and the timing. So I was like, okay, what's he? I'm trying to figure out what he goes for here. What's he going for?
No, it was fun, man. It was, I want to give a shout out to Caltrans District 3, the CHP Truckee and CHP South Shore. Those guys legit job last night. Unsung heroes that stand out in the middle of a storm, checking trucks, making sure everyone's got their chains and their 4-wheel drive with snow tires and all that good stuff.
I love talking to was it John the other night?
Yeah.
And his video of what he told the trucker in front of him. that was great. Said, I told you so.
We don't have so on a big rig there's no such thing as a 4-wheel drive truck. They have locking differentials, and basically you lock your differential in and you throw chains on, and that's how you get through the snow chain restriction. But this gentleman, who may have been a newer driver, told my friend that, hey, I'm on a 4-wheel drive truck, which there's really no such thing as them. So it was funny. It was funny because they got turned around and John had to throw out, "Yay, yeah, way to go, buddy."
Yeah, and he did have other words, I guess, that he said. Well, not that I guess he actually did have other words, but it was hilarious. It was funny.
We call it trucker Tourette's, is what it is.
Trucker Tourette's. That's awesome.
Trucker Tourette's. It's a thing. It is a thing.
It is. Well,
it is a thing.
I've been on the phone with you while you're driving, so yes, it is a thing. I can, and hopefully maybe we hear it a little bit next week.
Oh, guaranteed. Next week we're gonna have to put a warning label on next week's episode. I'm assuming
we're gonna start it with this could parental guidance. What you definitely want to watch out.
Yeah, parental guidance is suggested.
Yes, yes. We're gonna put a PG-13. Hopefully we don't have to go R, but we should be PG-13 and be just fine.
We should be good.
This is on the internet. Don't let your kids listen. Yeah. If you don't want
kids
them to
should be on the internet anyways.
Yeah, kids shouldn't be on the internet. Yeah, the funny thing is all throughout the country right now, and I don't know if you got one or you're paying attention to your phone. Hopefully you're not, since you're driving, but I think every parent that has a kid in school right now just got an email from their school talking about a TikTok that's going around about some.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah,
the 17th?
about Friday, about tomorrow.
Yeah.
And violence happening at schools. So, and apparently that's going around TikTok. So we're all getting messages on that. So if you haven't got your message, and apparently this will be playing tomorrow, the 17th, December 17th, 2021, you may have got a message from your school. So watch out for your kids. Ours. They're saying it's not warranted, but we'll see. Yeah. I'm not stressing in Houston.
We have to be vigilant.
Yes.
Nowadays, it's just a whole different world than when we were growing up. And unfortunately, that's you just have to watch out for each other.
You do. And I appreciate the schools sending it out just so everybody's aware, because not everybody's on TikTok or seeing. I haven't seen the post, so I don't know, but apparently it's out there. So, go ahead.
Hey, real quick, I got to cut you off real quick. So I enjoy coffee when I go to work because this is my morning time, right?
Yes.
So I stopped by the local coffee house, and they have an Irish cream. I got the cold brew. Well,
okay.
It's a cold brew. Dude, if you threw a little Bailey's in that thing, oh my gosh. The Irish sweet cream coffee.
So maybe you'll have to do that.
Bailey's in there, but I'm just saying.
So that reminds me, we didn't even talk about like our drink of the day, right? Because you are working. I don't want to be.
We just did.
I know, but the coffee. But I didn't bring. Okay, guys. So Eric's drinking coffee, and he would love Irish cream in it. I'm drinking a Kirkland purified water. So I am. If you'd like to read me all the stats and awards, on the Kirkland signature water, I would love to hear it.
Gotta stay hydrated, buddy.
Right.
Gotta stay hydrated.
And due to our next our guest, I'm not gonna ask him. I didn't tell him about the drink. So today, we're gonna have coffee and water for Eric and Mike. That's the drinks today. Now I will share. My wife is getting on a company Zoom call or video call, and they have to wear like a Christmas outfit, and they get to drink. They said, bring your favorite drink.
Oh.
So Jamie's like,
is it Josh?
Can I, Josh? No, wrong name.
Joshua?
Wrong name. Justin. Justin.
Dang it. I knew it was a J.
So
dang it.
For those that know me, which not everybody out there knows me yet, but you'll get to, Justin is a winery out of Paso Robles, and it is absolutely probably right now my favorite. Kind of like Eric was on Brewery X's Jock last week.
Woo, boy, I tell you.
I'm on Justin's. So
Slap
my wife,
tickle, babe.
Slap and tickle. So my wife she asked if she could open one of my good bottles, which we have a 2016 Isosceles Reserve of Justin.
Is that what we had that night?
No. We had the next bottle up from that. We had the Platinum Reserve of their Cabernet Sauvignon.
I've already got a GoFundMe to raise money to get a case of that for Shonda.
Oh,
because she was next level beside herself. She's like, oh.
If you guys
I could drink that.
if you guys want it, I ordered the 2017 and I already have it. So I already got my 3 bottles of the 2017.
I still got to get funds to get the GoFundMe going to get the.
Well,
I mean, I'm sure that price tag's not,
Well, you have to be a club. You have to be a club member. So in order to order it, you can't even buy it on the site. You have to be a club member.
You got to know someone who knows someone.
You got to know, and a guy in this case.
You know a guy.
Exactly. Whoa. Uh-oh. We got road rage.
Well,
everything all right?
Just trying to get into our yard.
Oh. Another driver.
Stoplight. I mean, there is an outsider. They don't really count.
Oh, shoot.
I mean, they have the stop lights there that say, that are red for a reason.
Right. All right. So we got past the drink thing.
Oh, shit, bro.
What? What's wrong?
So I'm coming through the gate, and this guy backs in and hits my mirror. I just hit some dude at the guard shack.
Okay, see, you're not going to get this on any other podcast.
What the hell? I'm like,
you're not going to get this on any other podcast.
I'm sorry, dude. I forgot we were recording, man. Sorry.
You're totally. And
that was a total visual. I'm like, this guy's going to walk right into me.
The best part is we could totally edit it out, but what's the fun in that?
Yeah, we can't do that.
No, it's you got to live by the moment on this show.
It's beautiful. He literally walked into the truck.
So
he walked off the step into the truck.
He was walking. So it's not another vehicle.
Yeah,
this guy was just walking.
No, he was He was at the guard shack checking in because we have some outside help for the warehouse.
Right.
And they have to check in at the guard shack, but he's literally not paying attention. And my mirror hangs out all over the. God, people, man, I love you guys. You guys are beautiful. Americans. I take that back. Humans are amazing people.
Humans are amazing people.
Humans are amazing.
I don't know about that statement overall, but humans are amazing
Michael.
people.
They're amazing.
That's funny.
It's amazing.
That is awesome.
Ugh.
Okay, so we need to move on to
Yeah,
so
we
this
do.
weekend we got to hang out a little bit.
I like hanging out with you, bud. You
Oh,
know that?
I know, I enjoy it too. A little different crowd for both of us, I think, though.
Yeah.
And not the event you would normally find the two of us at.
Yeah.
So
Dude, we were at a baby shower, bro.
we were at a baby shower, which, hey, whatever.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Katie,
Thank you.
Cody.
So the baby showers for
Congratulations.
my oldest son, Cody, and my daughter-in-law, Katie, and our second grandbaby coming, Jackson, Jaxson.
Yeah. I pushed for Eric, but I
Yeah.
said I'd pay for college.
Hey, I would have taken that right away. I know
I'm
with
just saying.
paying for the colleges I'm paying for.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's not going to MJC or Columbia.
Well, who knows?
Free tuition.
Who knows by that time what's going to be available? I mean, that's
Not that
18,
there's anything wrong with
19
going
years
to
from now.
MJC or Columbia. There's
No,
nothing wrong
especially
with
right
that.
now,
I'm just
MJC's
saying,
free.
It's free. Yeah.
All right, so
Free.
so not the normal environment I know you're in, right? And or I really.
Yeah, it's been a while for a baby shower for me.
Yeah, because you do have older daughters.
It's been a minute.
And I mean, even my youngest is 16. So, and I mean, we had to do a
You had
drive-by.
one.
Yeah, we had to do a drive-by
that's
because it was in the middle
That's right.
of the worst part of COVID.
Did.
Yeah, so it was a little awkward. I mean, we all sat out on the driveway and people drove up, dropped off their gifts. Everybody said thank you. And
I
then,
remember those were so beautiful, bro. I remember the birthdays and all the drive-by.
wow, those were easier times.
Isn't that? Gosh, man.
No,
Yeah, it was awesome. I'll let you set the scene, but I literally just sat right down by the dessert tray.
you did.
Right between the dessert tray and the charcuterie board,
The what?
which was amazing.
The what?
The charcuterie board?
The
How do you say it?
charcuterie.
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 Yeah. What is charcuterie? Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what it is.
Tell me what it is.
It's a collection of morsels that are tantalizing to your taste buds.
Wow.
In the forms of cheeses and meats and fruits. There was honey, bro. Dude, your wife had honeycomb.
Oh, the honeycomb
Bro,
is ridiculous.
Honeycomb.
Yeah, if you all haven't tried like fresh honeycomb with the honey, you can actually eat the honeycomb. It is ridiculous, especially with some nice brie.
Dude,
it's really good.
How did she get the cream cheese into the little peppers?
So,
that was amazing.
So actually she I don't want to say she cheats, but it's actually pretty simple. Is all she does is put the cheese, she makes her cheese mix, puts it in a Ziploc bag, cuts the corner, and then
she piped it in.
Yeah, she piped it in.
I knew it.
So those are Peppadew peppers. They're amazing. Peppadews.
Peppadew. Yeah. Peppadews with cream-filled sinners.
Oh yeah.
Were
to
die for.
They are. I don't even know how many I ate. That's probably my favorite part.
Between you and I.
Yeah, we probably ate them all.
I think we ate them all. I do. I think I made a Dawn try one.
You made a Dawn try one?
Yeah, I made a Dawn try one. I said, hey, bro, you need to try this.
Right. So
it's still keto.
The party was held at my daughter-in-law's sister's house, and really nice setup. My wife
love that setup.
Was asked to do the charcuterie board as snacks, and I think there was about 25 people. It was a a baby shower. They had some games. I think Eric and I both participated in. They had the drink a beer out of the bottle contest.
Whoa! What? Okay. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Now, I don't have an issue with
Are you going to call out cheating?
I'm only saying that.
No, you can call him out.
I believe he cut the nipple off of the bottle.
I would agree, because I'm pretty good at that. But I will say I had wine.
Smoked me. Yeah. No, he smoked the whole field.
Yeah. No, he literally destroyed all of us. I mean, we all still had probably, I don't know, like an inch or two in our bottle, and he was done. So he had to, because those were like, newborn
Protest,
tips, which mean they have really, really small holes at the tips. So it's very hard to get liquid back out. So the baby doesn't get choked up. And I agree. There was some foul play.
I believe so.
And if I could say more, I would call it really what I think it is, but it's all right.
Yeah.
It was a baby shower. It was exciting to, my second grandson's on the way.
Said baby.
Oh yeah. And then we had a baby,
Anytime someone said baby, you got their clothespin.
Yep. And my youngest, who's 16, bullied a 7 or 8 year old. I forget how old she is. Out of her clip, which was very upsetting to me. It was funny, but it was upsetting.
Bully.
Yeah. 16-year-olds.
It was a good time. It was nice, man. It was nice. It's nice to see the next generation come of age. I know that makes us older.
Yes.
Some people say wiser, but it is nice to see how these kids have progressed, into adulthood, hoping that we put them on the right track, showed them the way, how to be, functioning human beings on Earth.
Oh, 100% agreed, because my biggest advice to especially parents with young kids, just teach them right. The hardest part is actually when they're adults. I will tell you, the child rearing, everything at a younger age. Yes, you go through the tantrums, and yes, they're going to make mistakes, and yes, you're going to go through some things, but all you can do is your best, because when they turn 18 and they think they know everything, they're going to make their own decisions anyways, and they're going to do what they want. And you just hope that their, mistakes are minimal, like driving, and mistakes could be a car accident and somebody could get hurt badly. It's when they're children, it's a lot easier. Once they reach driving age and 18 and 20, and my whole goal has been to get them set up so they don't need to come back. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean it, the most loving way, but I want my kids set up for success. So when they leave, they're out, they're making their own living, and they're happy.
Yeah.
That's the goal, at least.
Yeah, for sure.
You always hope you can do that.
I agree with that.
Yeah, you agree with that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, with that, did you have anything else from the weekend?
I'm sure there is, but I'm really super excited about who's coming up next, dude. I'm super excited. Yeah, let's leave the rest. Well, I'm sure we've skipped something, but yeah, man, it's
you're just excited.
Yeah, I am so excited. I just lost my train of thought, but I am excited to talk to this gentleman.
Yeah, it's so funny how man. you got the number from another friend of ours, and then literally 2 or 3 days before you sent me the number, he Facebook requested me. And when you called me and told me the name, I was like, oh, I know him. I've actually known him since Jamie and I got together. So we've actually known him quite a while. You doing all right over there?
Yeah, I realized that I turned my truck off. I realized I turned my truck off, then it turned my headset off. So then I had to connect and reconnect. And
so you disappeared for a second. That's all good.
Yeah.
All good. We will work through
that was a hell of a good mute.
We will work through the technical difficulties.
Yeah.
All right. So before we get on to our guest, I'm excited to do this because last week we cemented our first sponsor. And so we are going to do their first sponsor segment. So this show today and probably for the next, couple months at least, she is our main sponsor. So this is sponsored by Tamara Polito from the Finance Group. Where we're creating a future where everyone has access to the loan and home they love. Whether you're a veteran, law enforcement, first-time home buyer, downsizing, or if you need to refinance, our community deserves proficiency and expertise. Better rates, faster close, welcome home. Tamara Polito, NMLS 1655776. Again, it's Tamara Polito. Her phone number is 209-204-3795. Again, I'll do that one more time slowly. 209-204-3795. Now, remember, she is only licensed in California, so sorry for the folks outside of California. We will work on getting more sponsors, but I do not want to take away from Tamara for being the first one to jump in and support us. I know Eric and I appreciate it so much, so thank you, Tamara. Make sure you guys give her a call. I'll make sure in the notes for this show that I get her website and her email also on there along with her phone number.
Beautiful. Thank you,
Beautiful.
Tamara.
Thank you, Tamara. So with that,
Thank you, Tamara.
I'm going to give our buddy, our guest a call real quick. So please hold.
Jack Griffith, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you, Eric?
Man, I am awesome. It's my pleasure to meet you. I've heard a lot about you from a lot of different people, and man, I am super excited about today.
Yeah, no, it's going to be awesome.
Just for my ability to interview you, you know. I appreciate you. I appreciate your service. I appreciate what you stand for. Yeah, man, I'm stoked.
Okay,
I'm super excited.
Jack, we got to calm Eric down. He's very excited. Before we got on with you, we were already talking, and he is very excited to talk to you. So let me introduce everybody on the line. Along with Eric and I, we have Jack Griffith. Jack, you live in Modesto, right?
Actually, I live in Turlock.
In Turlock, okay.
I was born and raised in Modesto.
Right. I remember being at your house. Going to your mom and dad's house. So. Back in the day.
Yeah.
Man, Eric, you're breathing hard, buddy. You all right?
Am I really? Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
It's all good.
Oh, I was just hanging out here. I'm sorry. I feel all bad now.
No, don't feel bad.
I am a fat boy, but hey.
It's all good.
Hey, I got to jump right to this real quick.
Do it.
Are you the general manager of the Wesley Hotel?
I was. The brothers that own the Wesley Hotel actually just shut it down because with COVID and all the weird restrictions, and they priced them out. It was a great idea when we opened, but it turned out that the economics just during COVID lockdown and whole meat production plant shutting down, our prices just skyrocketed, and we couldn't put out a product that wouldn't gouge the customer.
So was the old Greek guy out? Did he pass away? I used to work for Cisco. That was my last stop of the day. And I would sit there and spend like 4 hours with that guy, just chatting with him.
Yeah, so Leo actually is carrying the title to the restaurant still. So they just took an inactive role.
Dude, I got a story about that place, bro. So, when you walk in from the back door, you walk in through the back door, you come through the kitchen, you make that left into the dining room.
Yes.
Right? So now you're facing north. So he always wanted that paper goods up there in the corner. And one day I got my hand truck with Cisco, and I'm rolling in there. And I turn, I go, "Hey, how you doing, ma'am?" And Leo's like, "Hey, who's in here?" I go, "There's a little lady right here." I'm like, "Dude, there's nobody here." I'm like, I'm freaking out. I said hello to a lady who was sitting at the it's the far corner table. I know there was someone sitting there. He goes, "Man, there's nobody here."
There? Oh, wow.
And he said, "There's nobody here." I'm like, "Hey, hold on, man." So after that time, I never delivered past the kitchen door. The stories of that place.
Yeah, there has been some crazy things that I thought would never happen in my life happen in that building.
Wow. Yeah,
I'm telling you, it's real, man. It's real.
All right.
But anyways, that's kind of a sidetrack story. Sorry, I had to bring that up because I noticed that on your info page that we got.
Since Eric jumped right in. So Jack is a veteran, so we appreciate your
Thank
service.
You for your service.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
And Jack's also going to be running for the 10th Congressional District, right, Jack?
Yes, sir.
Here in California for Congress, right? So we'll get to that, but I think we kind of want to jump in a little bit because we've been on a awareness campaign around our veterans and getting people to understand some of the things our veterans have dealt with and some of the opportunities that are out there for our veterans. And last week we had our newest sponsor, Tamara Polito, she was talking about the VA loans, and I know your parents were in real estate, so I know you know all about it as well.
Yeah, Yes.
But we wanted to start off a little bit with your military service. So what made you join the military? What was your drive to join the military?
Just ever since I was a child, I never saw a future where I wasn't serving my country.
Okay.
Wow.
You dream about being a cop or a firefighter.
Right.
I dreamt about being a cop or a firefighter wearing those nicely pressed uniforms and, doing it for the country. But I was really into engineering, and I knew that the Army had a really great group, Corps of Engineers. And so it's weird because I had 3 grandpas, a biological, a non-biological, and another biological, and they were each in different branches. One was Army, then Marine, and then Air Force.
Okay.
And the Army just always stuck with me. I loved the stories about it, and I watched all the movies. I didn't really, I was more into the, I need to do this as a person of the community.
Right.
I didn't really go with it wasn't like I was having a hard time in my life.
Right.
It came at a certain point where I was like thinking about it really hard, and I said, I need to go. I need to serve. I need to, just change the course a little bit. And I just decided one day to sign the papers and go for it. And, if I would have known now, would I have done it all over again? I 100% probably would have, because there was no future that I saw where I did not serve my country.
That is amazing.
Wow.
And
Awesome.
we've already talked about how much we appreciate it. But thank you so much. And that's I think there's a lot of people that feel the need that they have to join due to maybe their family situation or their neighborhood or whatever it may be. So it's really cool when you hear somebody who wants to do it. So thank you.
Yeah. Hey, you kind of touched on it there for a minute, about how you saw yourself going forth with your life. What do you think was your biggest takeaway? What do you think you learned about yourself by enlisting?
To tell you the truth, and this is, I love my father more than anything, and I feel that he is one of the strongest male roles in my life. And I never really had any other real male role. I mean, I had grandparents, but they were doing the 9-to-5 thing. They were cranking out retirements, I guess you can call it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Right.
My dad was like a mover and a shaker, and being in sales, and when I went into the Army, I met real men, and I thought, wow, I am such a child. And, like I could definitely check myself a little bit more. And I had a lot of great relationships with guys that were even younger than me, that were more of a man than me. And it was like, wow, this is really humbling, and I'm really not who I thought I was.
Yeah.
Well, and sometimes, let's be real, our parents, whether people want to call it good or bad, they protect us from some stuff, and we don't have to grow up as fast, right? Where some of the other people, some of the other guys and girls that you were in the service with, who knows what they had to deal with on a day-to-day.
Oh yeah, and most definitely. And you do meet the soldiers that are like, oh, I just wanted to get away from my life at home. My friends were going nowhere, and I didn't want to go nowhere either. Right. And then you have other ones who are like, I was just kind of bored, and I like to work out. And it's like, man, you're crazy. And that's one thing. I never, ever, ever painted myself as special forces or even like specialties like airborne. I wanted to just serve my country, do a job, and I didn't want to be like Rambo. That wasn't my vision. My vision was, to help, to humanitarian aid. That's why I went engineering. That's why, I took a background in demolitions, because when you build something up, you got to blow it down sometimes. You know what I mean? So
right. Now, when did you join? How old were you?
I actually joined at 25.
Oh, wow. So you didn't join right
so
out
lived
of...
a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did door-to-door sales for a while, mainly in the alarm industry, because I was still working in the security industry, doing executive protection jobs.
Wow.
And it was kind of like my career, half of my career taking me to commission sales, and it was right around the time where, you know, having parents in real estate, you know, the dip's coming, and I just really didn't want to be, and I didn't want to be like stuck in a job where I completely lost the hump. So I went into the Army, and then, you know, expected to do 26 and out, and then maybe retire out to a demolition company where I was just blowing up buildings and
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
So when did sorry, Jack, when did you get out?
So I got out September 11th or September 15th of 2011.
Oh, okay.
And it was on a med board. I was awarded a Purple Heart in Afghanistan for taking an IED strike.
Wow.
And it was literally like one of those situations where, I mean, you hear people talk about your life flashing in front of your eyes.
Right.
But like what flashed in front of my eyes wasn't like things I was going to miss. It was like disappointments that I have entrenched into who I was.
Wow.
Wow.
And
really
none of us can fathom that feeling. So you guys were hit by an IED. Were you in a caravan or?
Yeah. So we were in MRAPs, which were the RG-31s. They have a V divide like hole, and it has armor plating on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we took just over a 300-pound blast.
Oh.
Directly under my seat, and it was a basketball-sized dent left in the hull with all the armor missing.
Wow.
It was just I lost my weapon through the blast hatch. Like when that blast went off, I have heard people talk about physiology and feeling a change, and until that second in my life, I could have never explained it to you, but I have completely had a physiological change since the blast. And it was kind of enlightening to find out how weak you really are, especially mentally, having a TBI as well, and having to like retrain your brain, even to the fact of like the way how you chew foods could make you choke just because your brain isn't telling your mouth to chew correctly. So you go from, you know, this image of Tarzan swinging from the trees. I need the rope to pull myself up because every joint hurts. Every part of your body feels shredded.
Oh. Now, do you have any lasting injuries from that as of right now, or are you?
Yes. So during the blast, they listed 23 injuries. And then during my medical board through the Army, the VA accepted 16 of them, and the Army accepted 3 of them directly, resulting in me having the med board. I tried to switch over to, they call it an MMRB, and it's basically where it's a medical review board where they give you a different job.
Okay.
And I was just so injured, the Army was like, dude, take your retirement and live on. Like,
wow.
Go
Wow.
But you were willing to stay in there.
Oh, yeah, I was trying to, like I told you, I wanted to do 26.
Wow.
And it just didn't work out. I had actually, so when they give you your file when you leave a unit, there's a lot of things that are missing from it. Like mine literally had 4 pieces of paper in it. So my new unit didn't even know that I was injured. I went from 1st Infantry Division on Fort Hood, and I transferred over to the 36 Engineers, and they were what's called fencing in. They were bringing in soldiers to lock the unit in to go to deployment.
Okay.
And so I went through SRP, and that's a site where they do medical and mental evaluation for readiness. And I had a civilian that had more of a file than I did, and she red flagged me. And so that put me in for a review, and my unit was like, hey, I tried everything I can. I'm sorry. the XO's got to write up a medical board proceeding. It's over our head.
Wow. That and that's the things, we don't always, and you and I talked about this, Jack, because I wanted to talk to you about how far you wanted to talk about, because some people, they don't want to talk about their service, and it's understandable. Everybody deals with it a different way. So really appreciate you taking the time, because I don't think people can quantify what all of our servicemen and women dealt with. And I mean, you obviously dealt with it to a whole nother level. So it's absolutely amazing. I'm glad, I'm glad we knew you prior, back in the day when Jamie used to deal with your parents all the time and your family. So again, I know Eric and I can't say enough how much we appreciate you and your service.
Yeah, 100% do appreciate it. Real quick, I don't want to move on, because I don't want to disrespect you at all, by no means, and diminish anything, because again, I personally appreciate everything that anybody who enlists, anyone that serves, has my utmost respect. I mean, I have family that was in it.
Right.
I didn't serve, but I support everybody that does. And oh man, a little emotional right now, just listening to some of this stuff. And we didn't really get into, some of the deeper things that go on in there. But I did want to bring up the fact that the congressional candidate for District 10 is on the phone with us. Appreciate your time. What's the District 10 area? Like, what does that encompass?
So now the lines aren't technically set until December 27th, but they just released a 12/15 rendering, and what that looks like is that the Modesto Ceres Turlock area is kind of cut in half.
Okay.
And one side is going to be all the way out to South Lake Tahoe. So
wow.
through El Dorado, through Amador, through Tuolumne, through Mono, it's all the way down even past Yosemite to Inyo County.
Wow.
So, yeah, it kind of, we have Madera, cuts a little around Merced.
Oh, wow, they totally changed it.
Completely. And that was, like I said, that was just a couple days ago. And that kind of splits what the old district used to be. But it also leaves great area of representation. Looking at the maps, I'm not sure if District 2 or us will have more land that encompasses it. But, we look like we have a huge area to cover. We got a lot of great representatives, too, that are also working within those areas.
Right.
And, and it's even like right now, I know that the Stanislaus County Board, they're, District 10 cuts right through the middle of their district, but we have a great county board right now, and those guys, they work, the lines are there, but they work together, and I really love that about what's going on down around here in our representation.
Okay. So why did that change? Because that's why I was interested in looking at the map, and so I went and looked it up, and it almost looked like it was just Stanislaus County before.
No, so the reason why is because California lost the congressional district.
Oh, that's
because
right.
of all the people that moved out.
Yep. That's right. Okay, so it's almost going to be what, Tuolumne, Stanislaus, a little bit of Merced County.
Actually, I think it cuts around Merced County.
Oh, okay.
If you go to wedrawthelines.ca, you can go to it's a draft map, and it pulls it up, and you can zoom in and see the different districts.
Mm-hmm.
And see where the lines are actually drawn up and around.
Okay, so wedrawtheline.com.
I just put a link on the Contagion effect.
Oh, thank you, Eric.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll make sure we post that, and then as we still got some more questions, but we'll be posting and sharing your congressional page, because it's Jack Griffith for Congress, right? Is your Facebook page?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll make sure we share that. I know it was great, talking to you the other night, and I know you said for December you kind of want to let everybody enjoy their families and not overwhelm them with campaigning and things like that. And man, I appreciate that. I think that's sometimes we don't see that kind of transparency or that kind of care. So I definitely appreciate that. So with your run for Congress, what made you decide to do this?
Well, I just didn't think that we had the right representation in Congress. I think that it was going a different direction, and it was more of the same party. I vote party politics. I keep the same hit points, and I'm putting out survey after survey after survey, which is the same survey, and it was just getting real tiring.
Right.
And that's, another reason why I wasn't doing all the crazy Christmas, parades and stuff. I was out with the people during, I wasn't, doing floats or anything like that, because I do think that party politics needs to stop having such a huge play, especially in district representatives. We need to also get away from hammering people. Hammer, hammer, hammer. You're beating a dead horse. We're all upset about the same thing.
Right.
Let's work towards effectively changing it, not talking about other people or how bad they are, or these are the reasons of qualifications. No, we're all American. We all live in the same area. We all can work together, or you know what I mean? You see the ones that don't versus the ones that do.
Well, and I think oh, sorry.
No, I was just saying, I just see everyone wants to wear a name tag and no one wants to work.
That is so true. One of my things around this whole situation, and I'm not hugely political, but I do, in talking to everybody, whether they claim a side, I love what you're saying, because I think if everybody really talked and really spoke to what they feel or what they are about, everybody's really more in the middle than they are left or right. I mean, everybody's more in the middle, and I think that's what it sounds like. You're just trying to remind everybody we're Americans first. We're not a different title. We're Americans first, and that's what we need to focus on.
Exactly.
Well,
and it's all about the kids.
I appreciate that.
I see a future right now where my kids are being mistaught. And I see them being overwhelmed with things they will never use in their lifetime. And they're being driven towards a 4-year college where you have to have a degree to make it. And I just don't see that future. And I also see the loss of trades in our high schools and junior highs. And I see the loss of fun to the kids. Everyone's got a device in their hand. What happened to going out and going by the park and seeing, Jim, Tom, and Steve aren't here. You ride around the neighborhood, you find 3 bikes. That's where they're at. We can't even give our kids that childhood anymore.
No, we definitely need to bring that back. I think the electronics thing, I've been in wireless since '98, and I've always made the comment that, and I don't want any certain phone company coming after me, but iPhone literally ruined the world because of the tools it brought, right? And yes, there's some great tools that these brought, but it also, now we're dependent, and our kids are dependent, and it's exactly what you speak to, right? Is between iPhone and games, and I think they should get that time, but I think they also need some, go outside. I used to force my youngest, go play outside, go find something to do. But
and now it's even scary to let our kids out until the street lights come on, because it's what's going to happen to them? I think it's more our fear too, though.
No, I agree. Because the world around us is constantly changing, right? So
Yeah.
I agree 100%. And what you're saying about schools, my wife and I volunteer. We see a lot of the things. My wife's new job, she's very involved in schools and gets to see the funding, and even she's surprised by some of the things she comes across. So I think I look forward and hope that we can get you into that position and you can make those kind of changes. So with that, I appreciate all what you want to do. With that though, what are your, like, let's just say your top 3 goals? Say you get the job, you win the seat. What is your top 3 goals?
Top 3 goals would have to be representing the people of my district and we all having the voice together.
Okay.
The second thing that I would have to do is education.
So what would education be?
Well, so it's kind of like we're wasting a lot of money having the Department of Education. We have no reason to have a Department of Education. Education should be a state-run function. And we put together this multi-billion-dollar lobbying scheme.
Right.
To see our education system. And then we put people in charge of it that aren't educators. And it's like, where's the money going? Because you have a $45.6 billion budget, and yet we're having problems educating children to the point of being able to read or write at their level.
Yeah, they don't have the tools.
No, and then you want to blame it on the areas when you have the funding. There is no problem with funding our schools. In fact, it's, cheaper per child to put them into a private school than it is we pay in taxes for a public school.
Yeah. No.
That's supposed to work. I thought the whole benefit of having public education was to keep the costs down. And then to find out you're not even giving the money to the teachers.
No, and I've got to see that with even my local city and teachers being threatened with layoffs, and you're looking at it going, well, why are we laying off? And bless our superintendent, she's done a great job. And it comes from higher than her, though, is she's put in a bad spot to have to do this with teachers. So I love education needs to be, I appreciate that you have that near the top of your goals. So what's the third one?
So the third one's going to be, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to clamp down on elected officials.
Oh.
I got to do it.
Drain the
There's
swamp.
no reason why someone needs to spend 30 years in politics. There's also no reason that someone needs to raise millions of dollars for a $174,000 a year job.
Or
This
they're
is
millionaires.
ridiculous.
Or they're millionaires.
Yeah, and it's just like there's a report that just came out about senators and congressmen and aides are not reporting. They made their own law about stocks and when they can purchase them and how to report them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still not even following their own law that they made to watch themselves.
No, and
it's
if you look at one of our current senators, she's very well invested in Visa at a time when Visa was in front of Congress, and then all of a sudden she's now a millionaire. So I love that. I mean, that's, again, politics isn't my go-to, but I appreciate that that's one of the things we're working on is I would agree. I think the 30-year politician needs to be a thing of the past.
And if you want to fix, median pay in your state, put your senator and your congressman on median pay for your state. You want to fix your health care? Put your congressman and your senator on your state health care.
Right.
You represent that state. Why don't you fully represent it?
Wow. That's and I love that. I love that that's the direction you're going. So I appreciate your top 3 goals, because those are all things that are near and dear to my heart. My wife and I, like I said, been involved in our schools. We always want the best for our schools. Yes, all of our kids are grown, but we need the future to be bright because we have grandkids coming, right? So, Jack, do you have a couple kids? You have a couple kids, don't you?
I actually have 5.
5.
So,
all right.
Yeah. I have a 21-year-old son and daughter. One's my son's biological. My daughter is step, and she still lives with me.
Okay.
We have a stepson who's 12. I have a son who's 11, and then I have another son that's 3 years old.
Okay.
And stepson would be on homeschooling right now with the 11-year-old, but he's on an IEP through the district.
Okay.
And so I homeschool my 11-year-old because I have 50-50 with my ex. So we do 2 week by 2 week. And then my 3-year-old just started at Chatham.
Oh, okay.
And so he's really loving the whole school thing and
excited to go every day.
You know, yeah, but being a Papa Bear, you know what I mean? I'm starting, you know, as each child went through the school, I started watching more and more earlier and earlier, just to kind of turn the tide. I just didn't like the politicizing of the lessons, you know, and then of course you have election day, and then you ask the student, you know, who they go for election day, and then they have a right or wrong answer. Like,
yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry,
not
but
right.
that's opinion based.
Right.
So, I mean, it was just things like that where I was totally cool with homeschooling. Plus, you know, I love to educate myself. I'm the type of person that if I want to educate myself in a certain direction, it's syllabuses that colleges teach, you know, for that. I mean, I don't need a $100,000 degree to tell me, you know, Freud loved doing cocaine and writing synopsises about everyday life. What I needed was a library card and the will to learn.
Right. And now, I mean, we got a computer and you can literally search almost anything, whether it's YouTube, Google, whatever it may be. So there's plenty of tools.
Even then I warn my kids, if you're going to search one, search them all, because they're all going to say something different. So,
well, yeah, you have to look at the stories for what they are and not take everything at its absolute words. So I definitely appreciate that. So 5, man, you got me beat. I have 4. But Jack, so if you notice, Eric went quiet. He was in the middle of having to go to work today, since he works for a trucking company, delivering our groceries all throughout the state. So we appreciate his work as well. But he did have to step away for that. So we do apologize. Jack, is there anything?
Thank you
go
for
ahead.
keeping it moving.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah, keeping it moving, because I know how hard it was, you know, even to get a delivery to the restaurant where they're giving you case minimums and, you know, ridiculous amounts of food needed to be ordered to get a delivery. It's
right.
Like, wow.
Yeah, they're only shipping 40,000 cases out of that facility that you're talking about a night. Yeah. They've cut it down. They've cut it they've cut a third of that shipping out.
See, apparently he's back. Apparently he's back.
Real quick. Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, I'm in a bid, but I just had to jump out real quick.
You're good.
I do appreciate you, man. I you know, like I said, I was giddy at the beginning. I'm giddy now, so I'm gonna finish up real quick. But
you're gonna carry him. You're gonna carry him all night long now, Jack. Man, you just made his night.
Dude, I tell you, man, I don't even need coffee or Red Bull, bro. I'm like so stoked. So
yeah.
I'm happy to be your Disneyland.
Man, absolutely.
There you go.
All right,
there you go.
Guys. Thank
all
you,
right,
sir.
Eric.
Appreciate your service.
Hey, Jack.
I'll get you guys later.
All right, Eric. Thank you. Right. Hey, Jack. So we would definitely love to have you on again, if that's all right with you for the future.
100%.
All right. So what does your, you know, once the turn of the year comes, what's your campaign trail? Like, what's that look like these next, what is it we have till November, right?
No, so the primary is going to be in June.
June, sorry. Okay, so.
And then the general election will be November.
Okay, so June, what's the calendar look like over the next 6 months?
It's a lot of knocking doors. It's a lot of getting out to the people. It's a lot about, you know, letting them bend my ear. I need to learn as much about their needs as possible. I also need to, you know, let people know that I'm running. Like I said, I think it's ridiculous how much money people spend on campaigns when you really just need to get out to the people. And it's about them. We keep thinking that these elections are about us, and they're not about us as the candidate. They're about us as the person that represents the people, because you're not a politician running for office. you're a politician that's running for office. The office itself is not a politician's sway. You're supposed to be a fiduciary. So stepping into the communities, letting them know I'm there. I'm really honored that I'm actually going to be running in a district where I've lived in, Modesto to Volcano.
Mm-hmm.
My wife and family are from up the hill. In fact, my ex-father-in-law's up the hill. That my kids go up to see their grandparents up the hill.
Yep.
I spend birthdays and holidays up the hill with family and friends. I mean, we're littered across the 108 and the 49. And, my wife graduated from Somerville up there. She was in the Long Barn area.
Oh, I got some people in Somerville I can introduce you to, too.
Well, that would be amazing.
Uh-oh.
They're going to be thinking with the redistricting that we're going to be getting the short end. And we're not going to get the short end.
Okay.
We're going to get the big stick. And we're going to get, if Biden wants to put out an infrastructure deal, we're going to put out for it. We need infrastructure as well. San Francisco wants to pull from us. LA wants to pull from us. They're going to have to give.
No, the Central Valley and the hills, we need some love. It's about time we get some love. So it's nice to hear somebody that has a voice for us.
Yes, and we need to keep it that way. We need to stop working for other districts and start representing our own district.
I would hit the applause, but it gets too loud for right now. I want new applause that sounds a little more genuine. So Jack, we'll be talking. We'll try to fit this in. I know you'll get busy over this next 6 months, but I want you to be able to have your voice on our show. We are, obviously, like I told you, we're new, but we're looking to grow and continue to grow our audience. And, we support you. We support your message. And so for those of you out there, again, Jack Griffith, he's running for Congressional District 10, and he has a Facebook page. It's Jack Griffith for Congress, right, Jack?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you have any other social media that you want to mention?
So I'm just kind of learning this whole social media thing,
okay.
Me being one of those Gen Xers. I do have Griffith for Congress on Instagram that I'm trying to learn how to use.
Okay.
I haven't set up a Twitter yet.
Well, I know a guy that can help you with all that, so maybe we can talk later on.
Well, that would be great.
Yeah.
I would love that because it's foreign to me. Like starting on the Apple II, you would think that I would have better, connectivity to the new stuff out. But I feel like an old man in that aspect,
Well, I've been in technology my whole career, and every once in a while I feel like I'm behind. I mean, even learning this podcasting thing, I still have some work to do on getting sound down, but hey, we're calling you, we're talking to you over the phone. We definitely want to have you in person next time. That way we can have a nice drink together and really enjoy talking about what you're going to bring to this district.
All
right. Well, Jack, thank you so much. And by the way, Jamie called you by a different name the other day, and she threw me off because she's like, hey, did you talk to so-and-so? And I was like, who? And she's all, oh, Jack, so you have a nickname too, right? Do you still go by that?
So, no, I haven't. Everyone used to call me Chip, and that's because
right.
My grandpa and my dad were both named Jack. So
right.
My dad was the one that got Jackie, so I guess there are no other cool Jack nicknames.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom kind of picked it. And I've heard stories, back and forth on how they did it. But I didn't, ever since I joined the service, I never used that name anymore, especially after my dad got.
Right.
So,
well, that's why I didn't call you by it because I wasn't sure. I've only seen Jack, so I didn't want to say it until I talked to you. But she threw me off, so I'll have to tell her. We'll all have to meet up since we haven't seen each other for a while.
Yeah, I think the last time I actually saw you was in Sonora when you were running the AT&T store.
Yeah, probably. And it's funny because I actually drove down Standiford today to go to one of my stores, and I was thinking about you since we were going to be talking in your parents' house that was right off of Standiford there.
Yes.
So, well, Jack, so appreciate your time, appreciate your service. We will be talking again, and I look forward to being able to support you in any way we can as well, because I love the transparency. I love what you're saying, and look forward to hopefully helping you get to your goal.
All right. Yeah. I'm down. Let me know.
All right. Thank you, sir. You have a wonderful evening.
You too. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Jack. So that is it for the Contagion effect. Unfortunately, we missed Eric to finish the show, but he's off to work. We do want to appreciate Jack Griffiths again joining us, and look forward to the next time, guys. Everybody have a wonderful rest of your week. Until next time.